Hi everyone, Anthony Morgan's Training Academy. Today is about self-defense. Self-defense, anytime I'm attacked, okay, I can defend myself. Now, defending myself has to be what is reasonable and what is necessary. Okay, do I feel imminent fear of my life? Now, this whole situation has a lot to do with me going to prison or me not going to prison. Now, if somebody attacks me and I hit them, and they back away from me, at that point, I don't have the right to go in there and continue hitting them. Okay, because now it's beyond that point of my imminent fear is no longer imminent fear. Now I'm attacking, and what is reasonable and what is justified. If somebody's choking me, and I pull out a knife and I stick it into his ribs, that's not justified. Now, if I feel I'm going unconscious, then it's a gray area, and you have to really examine what you're going to do. If I hit somebody, if they're attacking me, I hit them and they go down on the ground, and I start kicking them in the face. Well, now I'm the one that's the criminal, not them. If somebody breaks into my house, and I shoot that person and I kill that person, now that's going to be a hard one because now they can't testify against me. But what's going to happen when I go before a jury and they start questioning me and finding out why I shot the person? If the person breaks into your house, that's not always imminent fear of death or injury. They may just be getting in, maybe something's chasing them or someone's chasing them, maybe an animal's chasing them. So you have to be quick-witted to understand when and how and where that you're going to use your self-defense. Now, in that particular situation, if somebody breaks through my house and I step back and I do have a gun and I draw that gun on them, I can't just fire, okay? Now, if they have a knife and they come through the door, that's a different situation. But if they just break through the door, now that's when it gets sketchy. It's like, why are they breaking through the door? And that's where you have to become quick-witted to say, okay, why are they breaking through the door? What's surrounding that whole totality of that situation? Now, it's the same thing if I'm sitting in my car and somebody comes up and opens the door and grabs my jacket to pull me out of the car. Do I have the right to shoot that person? No, I don't. Okay, because they can steal my car. It's not, my car isn't worth their life. But I can still defend myself to a certain point. If he grabs my jacket and pulls me out and I hit him and he falls down, I can leave. Okay, I don't have to stay there. And I'm saying this to you to make you realize people go to jail every single day. They go to prison every day for killing somebody or injuring somebody when they should have stopped. Okay, so with all the training that's going on, with all the training that if you're working on a knife system, if you're working on a gun system, it's easy to say, well, I just shoot him if he broke into my house. Well, that's good and fine. If you want to give up the rest of your life, give up your family, give up your home, give up everything, just because you made one stupid mistake of going, well, the guy broke the house, so I pulled a gun and shot him. Okay, well, that's a mistake you've got to live with. So my whole point here is evaluation. Okay, look at how I'm going to evaluate each situation. If somebody's grabbing me, okay, now I can push them away, okay, and this is where the threat level starts rising, okay, and I say threat level. If a guy grabs me, I can push him away. If the guy grabs me and hits me, I can hit him back. Okay, but it doesn't mean if I hit him back and he stops that I can continue to beat on him. Now, if he's bigger than me and I say, whoa, there's no possible way that I'm going to be able to defend myself if he's that big and looks that strong, okay, now I may go to the next level of escalation. So, if I may pull pepper spray and hose him down, okay, now that's the next level. Now, if he comes at me and I say, okay, I don't have pepper spray, and say maybe he knocks me to the ground, I can pull my baton and I can hit him with the baton. That's the next level of escalation. So if he pulls a knife on me, at that point I can say, okay, now I can draw my sidearm and I can shoot him. And this is where it gets kind of touchy, because a lot of guys say, just shoot him in the leg. Well, are you that good of a shot, okay? And the guys will die almost just as fast if you hit that artery in the leg. If you're, aiming for the leg and you say, just shoot him in the foot, well, great, are you that good of a... And these things happen really, really fast. So for me to have target acquisition to where I can shoot you in the foot, especially with the guy moving, you may miss and then he'll be on top of you, and then he'll take the gun away from you. So escalation, you have to constantly, if somebody's out there and you run over them with a car, maybe because they're chasing you, that doesn't look good in the court of law. Now, you didn't have to run over them. You could have backed out. And so keep in mind in all this, and like I said, it's self-defense. How are you going to escalate that fight? If he grabs my shirt and I jab, okay, and say I make a mistake and he's blinded for the rest of his life, now he's going to have my whole retirement just because I made the wrong judgment call. And I don't want to worry. I don't want to worry anyone, and I don't want anyone to be afraid to defend themselves. But you just have to learn how to escalate your self-defense skills. Okay? You say, well, if anybody touches my kid, I'm going to kill him. Good theory, but now your kid's going to be without a father or be without a mother. So weighing that out, and understanding, training with certified guys that can take you from that low level, okay, to a high level. And there's not, there's guys around, but there's not that many guys around that can teach you how to deal with a knife, teach you how to deal with a gun, teach you how to deal with a club, deal with pepper spray, and teach you with how grappling works and how boxing works. The odds of you coming up against a really experienced martial arts guy is going to be thin. Now, you'll find guys that do have some experience, but they're not. The guys with really a lot of experience aren't going to be out there trying to create problems. So just keep in mind all those little tiny things. Like I said, this is just about self-defense. Self-defense, and with me, I usually train self-offense. And so everything I do, I'm attacking. Now, how I attack, if somebody throws a punch and I cover here and I touch the eyes to get them to water, I can move. I don't have to stay there. But everything I'm going to do, if he throws a punch, I may hit that inside of the muscle here, just to dead arm that. I can kick him in the groin, okay, and stop him, and I can leave. So anything you're doing out there and anything you're practicing, you say, well, I carry a knife all the time for self-defense. What does that really mean? Okay? And as a professional, you have to be really careful. And especially if I have students coming here and I say, well, he does this, and just take your knife and stick it through his neck. Now they're going to come back to me and they say, this is what you're teaching? Okay? You're teaching if somebody grabs you, stick a knife in their neck. Now I'm going to be in that same liable suit. So as professionals, be careful what you teach, how you teach, and understand the difference between self-defense and offense and bar fighting. It gets really touchy. But if you always look at that escalation, okay, force escalation, he grabs me, I can push him away. He grabs me, I can hit him. So anyway, that's all I had for today, just on self-defense. And thank you guys for subscribing. Thank you for all the notifications. Thanks for sharing my videos. And I'll see you on the next video.